The Muslim population in South Africa is estimated to be around 2.5 million and is one of the fastest growing religious groups in the country. The Muslim community is very diverse and includes people from different backgrounds, countries, and cultures. Many Muslims are increasingly active in South African politics, businesses, and culture, and are increasingly visible in public life. There's an increasing focus on education and the development of Islamic institutions, including mosques and Islamic centers. Islam is also becoming more widely accepted in South Africa, with tolerance for religious diversity and a growing number of interfaith initiatives. As South Africa continues to develop, it is likely that the Muslim community will continue to grow and play an increasingly important role in the country's future. Islam first reached South Africa with the coming of the slaves and political exiles from East Africa and the Indian subcontinent. This began in the 17th century with the Dutch East India Company importing large numbers of slaves from the East Indies to use as labor. The slaves, mostly from what is now known as Indonesia, brought with them their Islamic faith as well as their language and culture. The slaves and their descendants went on to form the first sizable Muslim population in South Africa. Although the majority of Muslims in South Africa are believed to be descended from the slaves, some have arrived more recently from other parts of Africa and the Middle East. The 19th century saw the construction of the first permanent mosque in South Africa, as well as the establishment of Muslim schools, organizations, and businesses. In the early 20th century, the South African government began to restrict the rights of Muslim and other non-Christian immigrants. This led to decline in the Muslim population, although it was still significant. In the 1960s and the 1970s, South Africa saw a resurgence in Islam with the growth of Black consciousness movement. This movement encouraged Black South Africans to reclaim their African heritage and culture, including their Islamic faith. Since then, South Africa has seen a dramatic increase in its Muslim population, now estimated to be around 2.5 million people. Muslims now form a significant part of South African society with a rich cultural and religious heritage. Islam is the second largest religion in South Africa, with around 2.5 adherents according to a census in 2011. The first Muslims in South Africa were African slaves brought to the country by the Dutch in the 17th century. The first purpose-built mosque in South Africa was built in the late 18th century in Cape Town by Indian immigrants. Muslims in South Africa are mostly of Indian, Malay, and Arab descendants. South Africa has the largest Somali population in Africa, and the majority of them are Muslim. There are an estimated 200 Islamic schools in South Africa. South Africa has the largest Muslim radio station in the world, Radio Islam. The Muslim Judicial Council is the oldest Islamic organization in South Africa, and it is responsible for organizing Islamic court system and interfaith dialogue. The Muslim population in South Africa is growing rapidly, and it is estimated to reach around 3 million people by 2050. Muslim community is also becoming increasingly diverse and integrated into the broader South African society, and it is expected to play an important role in the country's future, particularly in terms of contributing to the economic growth and development of the country. In addition, Islam values are increasingly being embraced by South African citizens who are looking to find a balance between traditional and modern values. As a result, many South African Muslims are becoming increasingly active in politics, business, and civil society. Moreover, the country has seen a growth in Islamic education and research, as well as the rise in Islamic-themed media entertainment. The future for Islam in South Africa looks promising as the country continues to embrace the religion.